Antonio Gates, how the Chargers legend dominated key moments on his way to the Hall of Fame. Antonio Gates' exceptional ability to perform under pressure has solidified his status as a Chargers icon and earned him a place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This Saturday, in Canton, Ohio, Gates will be honored for his remarkable contributions to the sport. His greatness is attributed to a multitude of skills, including his explosiveness, strength, spatial awareness, resilience, route running, and catching ability. However, one particular quality set him apart, propelling him from a college basketball standout to a legendary figure in football. He had an innate sense of when to step up and deliver, remarked Rob Chudzinski, who served as Gates' tight ends coach for 4 seasons with the Chargers. In football, the outcome of games frequently hinges on pivotal moments, and Gates was renowned for his ability to shine in these critical situations, not just among tight ends, but across all pass catchers. Whether it was on 3rd or 4th downs, or in the red zone, Gates consistently made his presence felt. Jason Michael, who coached the Chargers tight ends from 2011 to 2013, stated, "If you found yourself in a one-on-one situation against him, you were at a significant disadvantage." Gates holds the record for the most touchdowns by a tight end in NFL history, with an impressive total of 116. Out of these, 92 were scored in the red zone, which is defined as the area within the opponent's 20-yard line, according to True Media. Since the year 2000, no player has surpassed Gates in red zone touchdowns, with Hall of Fame receiver Larry Fitzgerald trailing behind at 83. Notably, 2 other tight ends, Tony Gonzalez and Jimmy Graham, are tied for 3rd place with 74 touchdowns each. Throughout his illustrious 16-year career, Gates recorded 257 receptions that converted 3rd and 4th downs, as per True Media statistics. Only Fitzgerald and Anquan Boldin have more such receptions since 2000. Gates also achieved 41 touchdown receptions on 3rd or 4th downs, ranking 2nd among all players in that time frame, just behind Hall of Fame receiver Randy Moss. When examining the combination of 3rd and 4th downs in the red zone, Gates stands unrivaled among his contemporaries. He amassed 37 red zone touchdowns on these crucial downs, while Gonzalez and Greg Olsen, who are tied for 2nd place since 2000, managed only 26. Chudzinski emphasized Gates' mentality, stating, "Whether it was a critical moment, a 3rd down, or a chance to shift the game's momentum, he always wanted the ball in his hands." Philip Rivers, who was Gates' quarterback for 13 of his 16 seasons, played a vital role in their situational success. As Michael reminisces, there were hand signals and some communication, but those two hardly needed to talk to understand each other. One particular play stands out in Michael's memory from his time coaching Gates and Rivers. It occurred in the red zone during a game against the Buffalo Bills in Week 14 of the 2011 season. Michael, who is now the tight ends coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, noted that Gates executed corner routes in the red zone better than any player he had ever encountered. He still shares video clips of Gates running this route with his current tight ends. Gates was so proficient at this route that he had to create alternative routes to keep defenders guessing. One such alternative was a nod route, where he would feign a corner route with a head nod before cutting inside to the post. In the first quarter of the game against the Bills, the play was designed for Gates to run a corner route. However, without any verbal communication, Gates and Rivers adjusted the route on the fly. They exchanged a glance, and it was clear they were in sync, Michael recalled. Gates caught a touchdown pass from Rivers in the back of the end zone, giving the Chargers an early 7-0 lead. Michael explained, "The consistency of those routes made it nearly impossible for defenders to cover him. That's why he holds the record for the most touchdowns by a tight end in NFL history." Gates' dominance on the field led to defenses devising strategies specifically aimed at neutralizing him. Coaches like Bill Belichick and Rex Ryan often resorted to double-teaming Gates at the line of scrimmage, similar to how gunners double-team opponents during punt formations. A tactic known as double-vicing. Michael remarked, "He transformed the game in that regard." With 116 career touchdowns, Gates holds the record for the most by any tight end. Let's take a moment to reflect on his very first touchdown, which occurred on November 9, 2003. Congratulations on an extraordinary career, Antonio Gates. Michael recalls a particular offseason when he requested the Chargers' equipment staff to create a specialized vest for Gates to wear during practice. This vest was designed with various dangling pieces that defenders could grab onto. Other tight ends on the Chargers would stand in front of Gates during practice, grabbing onto the vest's pieces to simulate the coverage Gates faced on the field. According to Michael, Gates was the only tight end on the Chargers who utilized this vest, as he was the only player facing such intense coverage. Jim Harbaugh, who coached against Gates while with the San Francisco 49ers in 2014, stated, "When you have to allocate two defenders to cover one player, it creates a mismatch if they don't. That fundamentally alters the game." Gates joined the Chargers as an undrafted free agent in 2003 after an impressive basketball career at Kent State, where he played as a power forward. He led Kent State to the Elite Eight in 2002 and averaged over 20 points in his final season. His basketball experience greatly influenced his football skills, particularly his ability to create separation in tight spaces. Michael noted he had a remarkable understanding of how to generate space. Despite battling plantar fasciitis and other foot issues during the latter part of his career, Gates continued to play until 2018. Chudzinski remarked that without these injuries, Gates' production could have been even greater. Michael recalls having candid conversations with Gates about his foot pain. Whether it was the day before a game or the night before, he would express how much it hurt, Michael shared. Yet he always found a way to perform. One moment he would be discussing his pain, and the next, he would go out and catch for 100 yards and score 2 or 3 touchdowns. All players experience ups and downs, and some days they don't feel their best, Michael added. But I can assure you, when the ball was snapped, whether in practice or during a game, Antonio Gates played at full speed every time. In those critical moments, Gates consistently delivered his best performances. Photo Donald Morale Getty Images. Daniel Popper is a staff writer for The Athletic, focusing on the Los Angeles Chargers. He previously covered the Jacksonville Jaguars for The Athletic and reported on the New York Jets for the New York Daily News, where he spent 3 years writing, reporting, and podcasting about local professional sports. Follow Daniel on Twitter at Daniel R. Popper. Antonio Gates. From undrafted to Hall of Fame, a journey like no other. Antonio Gates, a remarkable journey to the Hall of Fame. When Antonio Gates is inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this Saturday, he will make history as the very first player to achieve this honor without ever having played college football. It's a reality that still astonishes him. "It feels like I'm narrating a fictional tale," Gates shared with Chargers.com. Imagine telling someone that they could enter the NFL without any college football experience. Then make the team, secure a starting position, earn a Pro Bowl selection, and become an All-Pro in just their second year, ultimately becoming the all-time leader in touchdowns. It's a narrative so extraordinary that it seems almost unbelievable. The odds? They're absolutely insane. Initially, Gates was a basketball player at Kent State University, with aspirations of joining the NBA. However, after his college basketball career concluded, he faced a surprising reality. NBA scouts did not see him as a viable candidate, while NFL scouts recognized his untapped potential and believed he could excel in professional football despite his lack of college experience. Gates likened his situation to a high school prom. It's like wanting to go with one person, but another person is eager to take you instead. I had my heart set on basketball, but football was the one that wanted me. After going undrafted, Gates signed with the Chargers as a free agent, and even he was skeptical about making the team as a rookie. "I was just aiming to make the practice squad," Gates recalled. "I looked at the salaries, and my friends back in Detroit were working in construction or waste management. If I could land a spot on the practice squad, I'd be earning more than they were, and I was perfectly fine with that. Making the practice squad was my primary goal." However, Gates exceeded all expectations by playing in games on Sundays and rapidly improving his performance, culminating in a remarkable 100-yard game during Week 15 of his rookie season. By his second year, he had made it to the Pro Bowl. Now, he stands on the brink of being enshrined in the Hall of Fame, having carved out a path unlike any other Hall of Famer before him. But here's where it gets controversial. Can a player truly succeed at the highest level without the traditional college football experience? This question invites a deeper discussion about the pathways to success in professional sports. What do you think? Is Gates' journey a testament to raw talent and determination? Or does it highlight a flaw in the scouting and recruitment process? Share your thoughts in the comments. The Legacy of Antonio Gates, a tribute to the NFL legend. Antonio Gates' impact on both the NFL and the San Diego Chargers is monumental, standing as a testament to how players can shape not only a franchise, but also the emotional landscape of a city. His journey, filled with unexpected turns, is one that resonates with resilience and determination, making it a story worth exploring in depth. Chris Rim, a reporter with NFL Nation at ESPN, provides insights into Gates' legacy that stretch far beyond the gridiron. During a challenging 2023 season for the Chargers, fans found themselves disheartened as their team struggled against the Denver Broncos in Week 14. After a season overshadowed by one of the most painful playoff losses in NFL history, when the Chargers faltered spectacularly the previous year, hopes for a triumphant comeback were beginning to fade. The team entered the game with a disappointing 5-7 record, and playoff aspirations looked bleak as the SoFi Stadium crowd was dominated by Denver supporters clad in orange. To add to the turmoil, quarterback Justin Herbert suffered a severe injury, fracturing his right index finger early in the game, casting a shadow over what was already a tough season. However, amidst the gloom, the Chargers brought a flash of joy to their loyal followers by honoring Antonio Gates with an induction into the Chargers Hall of Fame during halftime. In a heartfelt address, Gates expressed his gratitude to San Diego, stating, "To the city of San Diego, etc. You supported me. You embraced a 22-year-old kid from Detroit, and you will always be my second home." This sentiment resonates strongly. Gates played a remarkable 16 seasons in the NFL, 14 with the Chargers while they were still based in San Diego, and 2 after the team's move to Los Angeles, a relocation that still stings for many long-term fans. It's interesting to note that though Gates never captured a Super Bowl title, he significantly contributed to an exhilarating era in Chargers history, marked by record-breaking seasons and thrilling games. During his induction ceremony, the thunderous applause he received from fans underscored his role not just as a player, but as an icon of the city. David Drogemeyer, a native of San Diego and co-host of the Locked On Chargers podcast, stated, "He was a guy who just fit the city. A guy who feels like he's got to be from here, even though he wasn't. He was ours." Gates' path to the NFL was anything but conventional. After graduating from Detroit Central High School, he initially chose to pursue a football scholarship at Michigan State, where he played under coach Nick Saban. However, due to Saban's insistence that he concentrate solely on football, Gates left and never played collegiate football at all. His journey took him through various schools, Eastern Michigan and the College of the Sequoias, before he landed at Kent State as a junior. where he would leave an indelible mark on the basketball program. In 2002, Gates led Kent State to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament, an unprecedented achievement for the school. His jersey number 44 was honored by the university in 2010, commemorating his status as one of their all-time greats. Despite his athletic prowess, scouts were skeptical of his potential to play professionally in the NBA, primarily due to his height of 6'4", short for a power forward. Thus, he turned his sights back to football, working out for various NFL teams. The Chargers saw his potential and signed him as an undrafted free agent in 2003. Yet his chances of making the final roster seemed slim. Stephen Cooper, a fellow undrafted player who would become Gates's roommate during training camp, recalls the tension and excitement of their situation. As cuts loomed, the two believed that only one of them would secure a spot on the team. When informed they both made the cut, their celebration was muted yet unforgettable, marking the inception of Gates's extraordinary career in the NFL. Gates's influence on the tight end position cannot be overstated. His background in basketball showcased itself in his unique ability to box out defenders and make acrobatic catches as if he were claiming a rebound on the court. Current Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh noted Gates as a groundbreaking player, saying, "He was perhaps the first tight end to become the focal point of a team's passing offense, catching 10, 12, or even 14 passes in a game. Truly the greatest of all time." Gates not only redefined the tight end position, but also inspired a wave of former basketball players to give football a shot. Jimmy Graham, who played one season of football after a successful basketball career at the University of Miami, is a prominent example. Graham credited Gates for blazing the trail for basketball players to cross over into football, saying, "Without Gates, I wouldn't have even been given this opportunity to play in college. He paved the way for me." While Gates's size was more suited for basketball, it proved advantageous as a tight end in the NFL, rendering him too nimble for linebackers and too robust for defensive backs. This scenario created a weekly dilemma for opposing defensive coordinators. Eric Weddle, a former Chargers safety, emphasized the concern Gates posed to any defender who dared to go one-on-one with him, exclaiming, "You knew if a team wanted to go one-on-one with him, he was going to destroy them. He was a matchup nightmare." It didn't take long for Gates to assert himself as one of the premier tight ends in the league. By his second season, he was named a first-team All-Pro, a title he would hold for 3 consecutive years. His breakout performance occurred in 2004 when he recorded 964 receiving yards and caught 13 touchdown passes. In the opening game of that season against the Houston Texans, he caught every pass thrown his way, finishing with 8 receptions and 123 yards, prompting excitement among observers who wondered, "Who is this guy?" As Gates' career unfolded, he set the NFL record for receiving touchdowns by a tight end, finishing with an astounding 116, while also leading the Chargers franchise in receptions, 955, and receiving yards, 11,841. His career is characterized not just by numbers, but also by his determination to play through injuries that would sideline lesser players. In 2007, as the Chargers prepared for the AFC Championship game, Gates faced a critical injury. He had dislocated his big toe during a wild-card matchup against the Tennessee Titans, leaving the field on a medical cart. Remarkably, he managed to play through the pain in both the divisional round victory over the Indianapolis Colts and during the championship game against the New England Patriots. Sean Merriman, a former linebacker for the Chargers, vividly remembers seeing Gates on the trainee table, unable to feel anything from the ankle down due to medical procedures to numb his injuries, further solidifying Gates's reputation as a warrior in a sport that demands resilience. Despite their history of unrealized potential and the heartbreaking lack of a Super Bowl victory, the Chargers boast a legacy filled with outstanding talent, including legends like quarterback Phillip Rivers, running back LaDainian Tomlinson, linebacker Junior Seau, and wide receivers like Lance Alworth. In contrast, many of these icons ended their careers elsewhere, while Gates, along with Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow, remained with the Chargers throughout their entire careers. Gates's 16-year tenure spanned a significant transformation in the franchise, particularly during the challenging transition to Los Angeles, a period that left many fans feeling alienated. David Drogemeyer highlights the importance of Gates's enduring commitment to the team, expressing how rare it is to find a player who not only started in San Diego, but also chose to remain with the organization through thick and thin. He emphasizes that Gates's reputation for conducting himself with integrity and consistent excellence on the field is what makes him so deeply cherished by fans. But here's where it gets controversial. As Gates gears up for his well-deserved induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, one must ask, how will his legacy be viewed amidst the franchise's tumultuous history? And what does this mean for future players who aspire to follow in his footsteps? Every fan of the sport has their opinion on this topic. Are you one who believes that Gates' success will overshadow the Chargers' shortcomings, or do you think his lack of a Super Bowl victory will always be part of the conversation? Share your thoughts in the comments.